Welcome back to another episode of Friday Sews. My name is Tanya, and on this channel, we create the atmosphere for you to celebrate your grace, beauty, and style. Now, I would like to acknowledge Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for creating the hashtag Friday Sews. Now, you can find Jen here on YouTube and Instagram, and there is a Facebook page as well, which I'm not a part of just yet. In this episode, we're going to be talking about what I completed this week, what's in work in progress, and my project for next week as well. So let's get started. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what we have been waiting for. It is the one tie poncho that I didn't think was going to fit, but check this out. Can you believe it? It fits. The tie's on the side. I added some bias tape for the tie in the front. Bias tape for the trim. I eliminated the pocket. I didn't think I would add the pocket there. I love it. Let's talk about this pattern. And I am just so surprised that it fits. Okay, so now we know that this is a vintage Butterick pattern, 4960, and it had only the one size in there. Let's see here. So it was a size small, petite, not just small. This would be considered an extra small. So I am so surprised that it fits. And it has a bust size of 30 and a half. And I'm a 44. That is a big difference. I continued on with the process of just cutting as it is and seeing what happens. So apparently this is so oversized that it's almost like a one size fits all, if you ask me. But they also have the medium and the large. So the large goes all the way up to a bust size of 40. Now, there's not a date on this particular pattern. I'm estimating it's like the early 70s maybe. So I am surprised that it is so oversized because usually our vintage patterns, they run kind of small. Now, there were a few challenges that I had because of the type of material. It's plastic based, right? Of trying to feed this through my sewing machine. I'm going to show you a couple of feet that I used on my sewing machine to accomplish some of the top stitching that I did. All right, here's a closer look at the 2 feet that I was working with. This one is a roller foot, and it has a roller on there to help push through the fabric. And then this one is a non-stick, which is meant for your leathers, vinyl, suede, any kind of slippery material, which will help guide it through. But my needle kept hitting right about there, so it didn't fit my machine, so I had to use this one. All right, so both of these came from this kit, and you just want to be careful when you purchase a large set like this, because they may not all work for your machine, even though it stated it worked for my Janome, right? So it gives you a manual, what types of machines it's for. They give you the name of each foot, and then there is a brief description in the inside for each one as well, which is helpful. Some of them will fit my machine and some will not. But you know, I think I paid about $20 for this whole set of 50. If you take a closer look here, some of the stitching was skipping. There's a little section here with no thread, so it would stitch for a moment, a break, and then it would come down and start stitching again. And I was just going back and forth, I couldn't figure out what the problem was. So I remember there was a foot that was white that I knew was meant for plastic. So once I realized that one could not fit in my machine, right, then I used the rolling foot, which was able to help glide it through. So now I have to go back and do that top stitching around my neckline. You really can't tell because it's the black on black with the material here. But I have to say, with the seam area of doing the top stitching, because the material is a little bit thicker in those sections, it gave a nice clean top stitch there. Okay, now I want to show you just a little clip on how I also use the rolling foot as well. So I had this bright idea to create a hat to go with my poncho because I had some leftover fabric. You don't want to waste the fabric. It's not working out too well. So here's the hat. I thought it was kind of cute, but this top part is not matching up with the brim here. This is bigger than this, and it's just not fitting in there. It was a great attempt. I think I just chose the wrong pattern. This particular hat here is McCall 7766 View D without the bow. The material is not meant for this pattern. It's just not. And then I realized I actually had a pattern I could have used. Simplicity 9580. I could have used, this would have been the perfect hat to go with my poncho. But of course I don't have enough fabric now. I think what I am going to do, I may add to the brim so that this will fit. So we'll see. I just thought it would be cute. I don't know. You know, silly me. But there's the hat. Let's talk about my work in progress. The lining for my son's jacket. Here it is. I got it cut out this week. It's pinned in right now. I haven't sewn it in just yet, so I have it pinned down. I also need to add the collar on the top. I wasn't sure if I was going to sew the collar to the bodice piece here or keep it separate. And I have decided to keep it separate. I want this seam, that natural seam in the middle to show, because you can see the seam like this area. I want that still to show, right? And you can see it at the bottom here as well. But doesn't it look lovely, right? It's really looking nice. So there you have it. This is the front and the sleeve. I did have to open up the sleeve slightly. I had my son try it on and it was a little tight around the wrist. So I did open that up and it fits perfectly there now. But yeah, what'd you think? It came out pretty good, right? The color, see how that matches so well? Very good. Very good. I have to say, my son is going to be very pleased with this one. Okay, so that was my work in progress. And what is my next project for next week? So what am I working on for next week? Oh, by the way, you may be wondering what this little t-shirt is all about. It was just a regular t-shirt that I had and I had an iron on. So I've had this t-shirt for several years now, and this iron on has been holding up pretty good. Yeah. The lips that matches my lip color, right? So that's what this is all about. Okay, so what am I working on for next week? All right, let's put Penelope to the side. I will be participating in an Instagram challenge, Sew Your View. It's hosted by That's So Monica, and the pattern for this month is Simplicity 9679. And I still have a few days left of this month to complete this pattern. I do believe I should be able to finish it over the weekend, but I want to show you some of the fabrics that I found. I told myself this month that I was not going to purchase any fabric. I just happened to be next to a fabric store this week, and I just had to stop in. So I found some perfect fabric for this particular pattern. All right, so here are the 3 fabrics that I picked up for this pattern here. One of the suggestions was a rayon knit, and these are similar to a rayon knit. These are probably more like polyester. There's some spandex, there's some stretch in all of these. But I realized that each one of these has a print of snakeskin. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer so you can see. Look at that. Very nice. I think I'm going to use this one. And I may end up making 2 of them. This. And then I have this nice black one. This black one is a little thicker. So I may end up making a pair of pants with the black. So we'll see. You'll have to tune in next week and see which fabric I decided to use for Simplicity 9679 View 8. I thank you all for joining me on this week's Friday Sews. Leave your comments down below on my projects that I was working on for this week. Let me know what you think. And are you participating in an Instagram challenge? Let me know below as well. I'm sure there are others. Let us know some of those challenges that are out there. Well, if you have made it this far, I would love for you to give me a thumbs up and think about subscribing. I'll be back next week so you can see my final project for the Sew Your View. Everyone, have a wonderful day.